Does technology give us happiness? Based on simple logical thinking, everything that humanity does at the level of technical progress aims to increase human happiness. Technology originally aims to achieve more money with less effort and higher potential, and this is logically supposed to contribute to a person getting more financially and morally, and thus achieving happiness. But are we really happier today? On the one hand, technology has raised the standard of health care in general and increased the lifespan of humans. In the future, human gene editing technology will develop so that it will theoretically eliminate most diseases and develop amazing human genetic traits. Artificial intelligence will make our life much easier, and the Internet of Things will make us control everything around us through a single network. Just as we control information today, and all kinds of entertainment are available to us upon request, and the purchase has become at our fingertips so that anything we want can reach our doorstep. But all this may not bring happiness. In America, the richest and most developed country, the happiness rate has gradually declined since 2005, according to the World Happiness Report, which is promised at the initiative of the United Nations, with the participation of a large number of experts, as America ranks 15th in this year's report. Technology in general has raised the expectations of people in their working lives. Indeed, there is a large number of studies that confirm that there is a close relationship between the heavy use of mobile and social networks and between high levels of anxiety, depression and sleep disturbances, and to a higher degree among young men, adolescents and girls. Social networks have contributed to the spread of a type of anxiety based on fear based on status anxiety, because of the comparison that a person makes between himself and others around him on Facebook, Instagram and others. I also know the high levels of envy, which psychologically leads to intense sadness. Sometimes, the growing sense among people that the details of their lives and their ideas are being monitored by governments, companies and others who invade their lives on social networks also created a kind of anxiety, and it is known that this will increase over the next 10 years with the development of artificial intelligence technologies and big data, which mainly depend on understanding the behavior of the masses. Analyze and exploit it for the benefit of tech companies and advertisers. Technology in general has raised the expectations of people in their working lives. What was accomplished 20 years ago in a matter of months can be accomplished today in less than an hour, without any exaggeration, but this has put us in an accelerating vortex of need to accomplish, and put us all on a fast road of competition with others, and this all has severe pressures on us all. All this contributed to the rise of technical innovation that aims to increase happiness in human life, and it is the way in which humanity today deals with any problem it faces. There are researchers who have focused on studies that say that more than 50% of happiness is related to genes and not to the impact of human life. These studies are based on studying identical twins who were separated at birth due to their family circumstances, and lived in completely different settings. Happiness here is linked in terms of the definition of a person's high positivity, his inner peace, and the compatibility of his inner desires with his reality in general. These researchers are looking for ways to modify genes so that the child is born with a high level of happiness. Even the famous European psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi predicts in his studies on the future of happiness that the coming decades will witness the growth of the phenomenon of children on demand, as genetic engineering will respond to the demands of rich parents wanting to raise the level of happiness, intelligence and immunity of their unborn children. Some scientists are looking for ways to implant a chip in the body that can pump stimuli for the hormones of happiness and ecstasy in the brain continuously, and there are actual experiences in this direction, but happiness here is high with joy in a person with the things he faces in his life, and makes him a state of recovery and celebration of life. Social networks contributed to the spread of a type of anxiety based on fear of social status. Dopamine hormone in the brain, or what some call the happiness hormone, is responsible for that beautiful feeling when something surprising happens to a person in a satisfactory way to him, and it is essential in fighting depression, and technology constantly seeks to control its secretion so that it causes happiness to the person. But it still faces major obstacles, because it is a hormone and a very sensitive neurotransmitter, responsible for the psychological balance of a person. Some researchers warn that social networks cause a kind of addiction to the production of the hormone dopamine in the brain and the effect that accompanies it, through the positive reactions that people get from their followers and friends, which makes us addicted to social networks. There are a large number of applications that help people meditation, record moments of happiness, and remind about actions that cause happiness. And there are applications that facilitate the human being to do good, which contributes to the production of the hormone endorphins in the brain, which has to do with happiness associated with helping others. Finally, there is a large amount of advice and ideas for dealing with technology of all kinds that reduce its negative effects on us, which I will discuss next week. In short, if you do not deal with technology with strict rules, and you have the psychological competence to resist its harmful temptations, then most of the time technology will be a cause of unhappiness rather than a cause of happiness.